course, you already know when it's time for me to come on. It's a new fall season about to start, and I'm coming on trying to find the right time for those that might be able to view the best of the 757 Community Talk Show, WVDM Network. And I just want to let you know I'm glad to be able to be here with you in the land of the living. And I just want to let you know that I don't have any guests today, but what I'm doing is I'm bringing some information to you about what's going on in the 757. And I want you to go ahead and hit that share button and invite some people over to this page, and so we can let them be aware of what's going on in our community and what we are trying to achieve as we continue to move forward with things and in the 757, bringing you information. Yeah, like I said, of course, this is Captain 85. Let me take that down as well. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How y'all doing today? But like I said, we got a few things that's going on in the 757 that we want to inform you of. If you're monitoring the bottom of the screen, you see there's some activities that's going on tonight in Virginia Beach at 6:30. And this young lady here will be speaking. So let me take that down and give you the information. This young lady's name is Juanita Williams. She's a retired Navy chief, and she will be speaking tonight. It's entitled Wisdom from Juanita. It's going down tonight at 6:30 at the Ebenezer Baptist Church, 925 Baker Road in Virginia Beach. And we want you to be aware that we want everybody to come out to learn more about what we need to do about registering early and absentee voting. So they'll be discussing that tonight. And we like to get everybody. And if you got, some young people, we need to bring them out as well, especially 17 to 18. They can register now at 17 and vote when they turn 18. So if they're 17 this year, right now, then when next year come 24 for the election, they'll be already registered to vote, and they'll be able to vote and participate in the process. This is what will be which will be the main topic tonight with wisdom from Juanita. And she's very articulated in this endeavor. She used to also help manage or campaign for Elaine Warren. Well, did I say that right? Let me get it right, because I don't want nobody calling me, calling name wrong. Okay, it's my show. I can do that. I can do that. But nevertheless, let me make sure I got that name right. She used to work for the Elaine Lauren. I do apologize. Elaine Lauren. I didn't have it in front of me at the time. So do apologize. But tonight, come on out, bring some people with you, and let's get engaged in our community. There's a lot that we can do, and there's a lot that we must do, that we must continue to make effort for our future leaders, our future generation. And that's the key point. That's the most important thing of all, is getting things where we can be able to help our future generation. Yes, indeed. But nevertheless, we're going to do our best to continue to get things done, and hope that you'll be able to come and bring some people with you. That's at 6:30, and you see the address right down below the screen. So please share this information with people on your website. And some of the other things, I'm gonna be brief tonight. Like I said, that's all about voting tonight. And what that means when I say voting tonight, we're voting, we are doing things to get our young people engaged in activities of voting, get them ready, acclimated, because they are the future leaders. The young people are the future leaders of the 757 VA, two up and two down. You know, we must get them more engaged in learning about politics and what it represents. And then we can resolve by putting these guns down and stop the killing, senseless killing and shooting in our community, in our neighborhoods, and against one another. We can solve problems if we learn how to come together and talk and educate our young people. It seems this type of violence going on has never been done in the history of the United States. Now, I can't count for all the other countries, but for the United States, we never had this type of violence before in our community until Black people began to become educated, be knowledgeable of their past, present, and their future. The enemy is real. The enemy is real. As Malcolm X used to say, we did not come here on the Mayflower or Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. But today we have to get our young people engaged in knowing who they are. You know, history is painted by the people who has the goal. So whatever they tell you is half false, half lies, because they control the goal. They control the money. They control the system. So when people control the system, they dictate to you your history. I learned this by studying at Old Dominion University, American history. And the professor said, it's his story, HIS, his. So whatever the people that say they found it, how can you find something that was already here? People were already living here, but you found them. They were lost. They were lost in the sauce because they must have know what they had. That's what you try to convince people when the Moors was here for over 850 years in England. So we've been ruling for years, centuries, decades, however you want to say it. But as you see today, how they are trying to stop Black history in middle and elementary schools, mostly all the schools except college, because college will give you all the history in and about America. So we need to get our young people engaged to stop the violence, because gun violence ain't solving nobody's problem in our community. It ain't solving nobody's problem in our community. There's only two solutions to gun violence in the Black community. One is you get killed. That's over with. You're dead and you're done. Ain't nobody talking about you after a week or two. Your parents and them are suffering to try to bury you and doesn't have money enough to even give you a cremation. Then they got to go on GoFund and ask for assistance. We have a lot that we can do, we can change. But first, put the guns down and stop shooting each other. Well, like they say, First Amendment said you have the right for the freedom of speech. Second Amendment said you have the right to bear arms, or whichever one, vice versa. But right now, neither one of them really need to be first or second or first, because we are being stripped of our liberties. We have guns. They see a gun on us, they kill us. Point blank. Don't get it twisted. It's getting a little better. It's getting a little better because they're in the news. Police is getting a little better, but hey, you skip 2 or 3 weeks or a month or two, there's another police officer shooting. And it may not be always advertised. So I have spoken at colleges before with this topic, and the lady and her husband was in the class, and they said, well, me and my husband, ex-military, we have concealed permits. The police officer ain't trying to hear that when he pull you over and see a gun. He's not trying to say, do you have a permit with that gun laying on the seat? He ain't trying to hear it. All they say, gun, and they let you have it. They let you have it even if you ain't got a gun. So what's the difference? The difference is don't fall for the rope-a-dope. Nobody didn't say you couldn't own a gun. Nobody said you couldn't carry a gun. But this ain't the Wild Wild West. You can carry a gun unconcealed on your hip. They're going to say you was trying to reach for it. They were scared for their lives. Other people see you with it, they're going to challenge you. We always had the freedom to carry a gun at 18. I used to have a gun at 18. It was registered, and I used to wear it on my side because I didn't have a concealed permit. But the thing is, and the thing that matters, today guns are the death of our young people. It is the death of our future generation. We must do better for them to do better. We got to stop all this lip service. Hands up, guns down. I'm saying hands down and pin up. Vote, because that's what you need to register. You need a pen in your hand. You don't need no gun. Your most powerful weapon you got and you possess is your brain. Your brain is the most powerful weapon that you possess because that's what God gave you. That's power that God gave you. Why do you think we are the most hated people on the planet? Because we are the original man of the planet called Mother Earth. We've been here thousands and thousands of years. God gave us his power by breathing into our nostrils, and we became a living creature. But what went wrong? Hatred. Hatred. Most of the plays and stuff you read about back in the day, things that you see, was created by Black people. But some reason they got other people's names on them and pictures. As we continue to move forward in the centuries to come, you see all the things that are happening written 2,000 years ago in that book called the Bible. It's now, you're seeing it on a planet called Mother Earth, because God has already written the laws. He signed them in our hearts, in our DNA. And we are destroying one another. Put the gun down. You're not protecting your family. You out in the street. People are shooting, killing, and you think a policeman is going to put his life on the line when he has a family to go home to? You can't ask people, I don't care what race, what color, what nationality, to put their lives on the line for foolishness. The end of the day, when that bullet leaves that chamber, somebody somewhere is going to be hurt or found dead. We got to teach our kids to go to school, to get an education, and most of all, stop respecting the teachers. Why are they allowed to even be in class if they're disrespecting the teacher? I used to run a club, several of them. If you disrespected my employees, you ain't even coming in. You ain't coming in. And if you did, I'm going to bar you for 30 days if you inside the club. Or bar you permanently. Why? Because we are not winning. A club is open up for you to have a social gathering, to meet other people like you. We should not be around here threatening people or anyone with a gun. And our young people's got it twisted. I love kids. I love young people. Because if I didn't, I probably would have been rich by now. I invest money in the things I do that I really, truly can't afford to. But that's my decision to do with what I do with my bag. Because I've been blessed to be here. I've been blessed to have my kids here, grandkids and great-grandkids. Why not you? Why not see the blessing in you have grown up to go to school? You used to be a baby. You used to be in your mother's womb. It doesn't make sense to keep hurting one another. Now we done got off, we own the bag so much, we don't even know. If you own the bag, who's gonna buy it if everybody's dying? Who's gonna support your brand? Your brand. We are worried about the wrong things. Education is the key to getting the bag. And if you don't believe me, ask them people that's in prison. In Virginia, there's 3 generations of people in prison. The father, the son, and the grandfather. 3 generations of people in prison. 20, 30. Some got 20 years, 30 years. Now multiply. What part you don't understand? 3 generations at 20 is 60. 3 generations at 30 is 90. And you can't do math. You can't figure out that's almost the time that you've been free or not been in slavery. Add it up for yourself. You know how to do math. You should. You're trying to get a bag. I know you can count to 100 and 1,000. The number of life sentences they give Black people in America, 3 generations, add up to 160 years of freedom. What part you don't see? I'm not a mathematical genius, but I know one thing. If you go to jail, you got three men in your family, that means that they still in slavery. They tell you that when you go get incarcerated. They used to show it on television in Virginia. When you go into the prison system here in the United States, before you do anything, once you enter those walls, the guard comes out and lets you know you are now the property of the Commonwealth State of Virginia. You will not talk. You will not speak. You will not go to sleep, eat. You won't even go to the bathroom unless we give you permission, because you are a slave to the state. Why ain't we teaching that to our young men and women? The pipeline to prison is real. And I didn't come to preach. This is education. And education is preaching. Education is teaching. Because you're using your voice, your ability to think, to create, and we're using it for the wrong reasons. And if any young people are listening to this today, or if you allow your young people to view this, please let them do so. Because my message to the young people is stop the foolishness. You are intelligent enough to know right from wrong. You know the difference if you got a gun and you take it to school. If you scared, stay home. Tell your mama, I'm not going to school. They bullying me or whatever. But to take a gun to school and you're going to solve the problem, bruh, sister, you sign your own death warrant. Freedom ain't free. People died for you to be able to go to these schools. People lost their lives so you'll be able to go and get a higher education. You're the most educated, most knowledgeable generation of young people in the Afro-American community, the Israelites and Hebrew community, the Mexican, Hispanics, Indians. Stop being hoodwinked, bamboozled, and run amok. I don't get paid to do this. But what I do is because I've already been blessed. God blessed me to be 71 years of age. And I'm not going to stop preaching, teaching, singing about the glory of our Heavenly Father. His DNA is in us, just like your father's DNA is in you. Your mother's DNA is in you. Your ancestors' DNA is in you. Why are we wasting and allowing the enemy to disrupt, corrupt us, and make us believe that what we're doing is right? Don't you look at the news? And I'm pretty sure most of you don't. Because if you did, you'll see the history that's been written thousands and thousands of years, way before you were born, way before you even thought of. It's been written, foretold. Love is the key to every solution or every problem on the face of this planet. It's in the scriptures, God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, so that you and I could have a chance for everlasting life. See, when the first black man and black woman was created from the soil of the earth, God breathed into their nostrils and gave them life. But then when Satan was kicked out of heaven and landed here on the planet called Mother Earth, he's been corrupting the humans every sense. And we pay a toll. We pay a toll. We are heaven on earth. It's in our DNA. Until our young women, our young men know that, they're going to keep falling and keep suffering. Michael Jackson tried to warn us. It's the man in the mirror. It's the man in the mirror. So many people, Megan Everett tried to warn us about registering to vote. Malcolm X tried to warn us when he said, we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on us. Martin Luther King, the great speaker, the great leader, saying he had a dream. These people are the people that sacrifice their lives to get us where we are today. And a whole lot of others who led the charge. Our history has been stolen. And the history they show is to whitewash what they done. But I know our Heavenly Father saying that time is almost over. And they know it. We're not here to destroy. Our ancestors was 850 years creating the systems that are in place. 850 years of educating mankind. And we done reduced ourselves to gunslingers, gangsters, thugs. And the lists go on and on. Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place because we can. Yes, we can. Not if we can do it. But first, we got to believe. We got to protect our resources. Our young people is the resources of this planet. I wrote these things when I was in my 20s. You are the resources of this planet. You are like the rivers that flow, full of knowledge. Don't let nobody take your knowledge away. I was put in I was taken out of the third grade, put in a special education class. But in 2010, 2009, I went and got my GED in Virginia Beach. 2010, I entered college at Tidewater Community College. Stayed there 2 or 3 years, transferred to Old Dominion University, where I graduated in 2017. But before that, I went to broadcasting school in New York City. And before that, I took different courses at Tidewater Community College. And before that, I took seminars. Do I know what I'm talking about? I know what my spirit tells me to talk about. Some of the other stuff is really, as they say, is flourish. Embellishing. I don't embellish what I do. I tell you what I do. Am I smarter than you? No. Am I full with the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, more than you? No. Do I recognize the Holy Spirit? Yes. Have I did things wrong and called it right? Yes. Have I did things right and they called it wrong? Yes. Life is a double-edged sword. You either speak life or you speak death. I try to help anybody that come along the way so that God will look down from above and say, you did a good deed. It's always been hard. I work for a living to take care of my family, but it's always been hard for me to take money just for myself. I don't know why, it's just the way it is. But I am developing products and services that require money. I've been working on my campaign for teens ever since I was born, because that's what I'm born to do. That's what I'm sent to do. By all means necessary. I don't carry a gun. I don't have to threaten no one. Words have power. All you got to do is speak something in existence if you got that gift, and it'll happen. Doesn't mean a person's going to die or get shot. Means that they can't do anything to you because you call on the angels that surround you. You call on the Spirit of Jesus Christ to protect you. All I know is I'm tired of seeing young people, don't matter what race or color. They are humans. The world is fooling them. They're dying, taking people's lives. And when it comes down, it was a black person, it was a white person, it was a gay person, or the rainbow person. Everything is other than what you should be calling it. You are a human being. Color ain't got nothing to do with it. Because if you need an organ, if you need a blood transfusion, I don't see nobody say this is white blood or black blood, but they know which one is which. But if you need it, you're going to have to do something to get it if you want to stay alive. We can talk and point fingers. We see evil and want to praise evil. And you see good and you want to call it bad. Man only has the power to destroy man as the human. He can't destroy your spirit. God controls that. He can't destroy the planet because he don't own it. He's just a tenant. We are tenants on this magnificent ball that spins around and around with nothing holding it up. What part that y'all don't understand? You can talk about space. You can talk about the land. You can talk about what's in the ocean and what's in the air. But what part that all of y'all don't understand, that we're on a planet, a ball that spins around and around with all these other objects flying by and has not crashed and destroyed planet Earth, Mother Earth. You should be worrying about that. And we still here. We complain more than we try to resolve the problems that we face. Our young people are brilliant. They are smart and intelligent. But the enemy wants to destroy them. That meeting tonight is important. That meeting tonight is important. We have to stop pretending. That's why all the nightclubs are shut down in the 757. God knows that you need to rejoice. Didn't Jesus go to a wedding? And the people at the wedding didn't have anything to celebrate with. So he told them, bring me 2 barrels of water. And he touched the water and he turned it into wine. See, alcohol is a natural phenomenon for you that don't know. That's why y'all don't know. Man didn't make alcohol. God made alcohol because it's a natural phenomenon. And you say, well, how is it a natural phenomenon? Because when any vegetable or fruit is in a stream and it runs across the water, it automatically turns into wine. Fermented, it turns into alcohol. We used to make wine when I was a child. We stayed on Portsmouth Boulevard. Today was Gospel Road when I stayed there, and Chestnut Street. And we had all these mulberry trees in our yard, fig trees. So my dad would take mulberries in the summer, when the trees are full, and make strawberry wine. Oh yeah, I know how to make a little bit of wine, something. It don't take all day. But what people don't understand, man made brands. See, you're drinking different brands of alcohol that comes from fruit. Everybody got a brand now. As soon as I get a little bit of money, I'm gonna get me a brand. It's gonna be called the Spirit of CAPTAIN85, the Mint Jewel. And I don't drink alcohol. My dad gave me alcohol one time when I was 5 years old. Oh, let me share the right way. Back in the day, when a child gets sick or an adult, they had a cold. Back when we had a cold, it was called the whooping cough. Whooping cough, meaning that it's cold in your chest. So we as Black people couldn't afford cough syrup. So what us Black folks, you know, us, 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 us people that didn't have no money, the poor ones, after slavery. Well, I wasn't born during slavery or after slavery. My father was, because he was a sharecropper, and my mom. My dad was born in 1917, and my mom and them lived to be 90 some years old. But my dad used to go to the liquor store and get bourbon, which is brown liquor. Brown. So y'all don't know your own history. Go to the store and get what they call at the drugstore rock candy, which is a white rock candy. And they would take it and put it in the bourbon and let it sit until the rock candy melt. And once it melt, it's like cough syrup. You would take a couple of spoons or tablespoons, and it would break up the cold in your chest. That's what it was for. So when we sit around and think of all the things our ancestors left us here to gain wisdom from, to gain knowledge from, but we ain't got enough knowledge to not to kill one another. We ain't got enough knowledge to stop shootings of a brother that looked like us. We can't stop killing our women, destroying our women. The Bible says you got to reap what you sow. Our young people are sowing what you put in them, what they see you do, how you treat your wife, your girlfriend, the queen that God gave you. See, y'all don't understand. Man was first. Then God made woman. Woman was the gift to man. Read your scriptures. But Adam had 2 wives. Let's pick it up at the second wife. God said it's not good for man to be alone. Why? Because he gave woman the gift. He brought the gift for man so he wouldn't be alone. So he could have a woman by his side and she could have a man by her side. Because if you find a wife, you find a good thing. All these things are written for you to know. But we rather pick up a gun and educate ourselves on killing people. Educate ourselves on how many people we can make do something that they don't want to do. And our kids are going to school. Now, the schools used to be a safe place to go. Now, the school has to have metal detectors, police in the schools. Sound like a prison to me. What part you don't understand? All you got to do is get your kids up, make them turn that TV off at night at 9 o'clock. They ain't getting paid to watch TV. TV getting paid for them to watch it. Why you think they call commercials? Everything about television is selling. Programming. It's good to have some entertainment. But understand, it's called entertain. Enter your eyes, your vision. Enter your brain. Enter your ears. Enter your thought process. I want this. I want that. When you can't afford it. Then you're watching a movie where somebody's stealing. Oh, I can do that. I'm going to get a couple of my friends. We can do that. But did you tell your kids when they steal anything? You got all kind of levels of stealing. Penny theft. Anything that's under $50. Then once it reach $50 or $100, that's the pipeline to prison. You thought you had to steal thousands of dollars. Man, had the people in jail, they never stole anything over $500. And they in jail. What part got them there? Because you was too busy talking in class. You were too busy not paying attention to the teacher to teach you. You wanted to talk about what you're going to do after you get out of school, or what you saw on TV, or, hey, I'm talking to this girl over here. Hey, man, that's my girl. Don't be talking to her. But instead of them paying attention, you don't know. Most of the stuff you buy, the store didn't even pay that much money for it. It's called markup. You're going to jail over the markup of anything you steal. Maybe y'all should teach your kids about the markup. Oh, you could buy a gun for less than $25 or $50. Why? Box of bullets for 8 and up, some for 5. Why? Pipeline to prison. I don't know nothing. I know one thing. I ain't going to jail for stupidity. I'm just the messenger. Don't get mad with me. Look it up. It's on the internet. But I knew this before the internet was in existence. Like I keep telling you, I'm just about one of the most famous persons you'll ever know. And never been to Hollywood. But I've been in the news ever since I was a child. Ever since I was in school. All the things I know were gifts given to me as I was growing up. I'm not the smartest person on the internet. Try to be the most truthful person on the internet. That's why I tell people I was in a special education class. They took me out of the 3rd grade. My mother and father were sharecroppers. My mother's education was a 3rd grade education. My father's was a 2nd grade education. My mom and dad was married for over record because the city of Virginia, Portsmouth, Virginia, declared their wedding day in Portsmouth, commemorated it for the number of years they were together. My mother only married and dated one man, the same as my father. Back in the day when my mother and father met, they had to get permission to talk to my mother when he met her. He had to get permission from her dad. They call it courting. We don't court no more today. It's okay for our kids to just go hang with whoever they want, do whatever they want to do, because some parents are being friends with their kids. We smoke and drink together. I'm going to miss him. I'm going to miss her. Why didn't you think about that when they was growing up? They say a woman is mature at the age of 16 to 18, more mature than a man. A man is not mature enough until he's about 24 years old. What do that tell you, black man? If you're so smart, then how come the woman has more knowledge than you about life? But I'm only one person. I know you want to hear me talking or preaching or teaching, because the education is there. It's up to you to get to learn it. I had another topic I was going to speak upon, but the time has come. I got to run. And I hope that you share this information with people on your Facebook page and on your social media. Remember to love yourself and put God first, and everything else will fall in place. It doesn't matter what others think about you. It's what you think about yourself. And join me at 3:00 on Frequency Distribution. I have some new 757 artists I'll be playing, as well as some new artists from other cities and states, and the latest and the greatest music that I can find. I don't play just black music. I play music because music is black music. Doesn't matter who's playing it. Doesn't matter who learning to sing. We created it to do our thing. So don't get it twisted. Because if you know history, the slave master used to say all the time, only thing a black person can do for me is to entertain me. I wonder why we got so many entertainers. But even now, we can't even go out to a club because we can't even entertain ourselves anymore in the 757. You should be thinking about why. It's sad, but it's true. Until the next time, this is Captain 85 for the best of the 757 Community Talk Show. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for joining me today. And thank you for sharing. I hope to see you tonight at the Ebenezer Baptist Church.